So there's an idea in the chess theory that by move 4 and stuff, meaning by 8 half moves and stuff, you can decide the whole game. And to a degree, that's true for some variations and stuff. From the first move, you uh, in like just consider like in terms of like best play and stuff, the most crucial variations and stuff, it has no bearing to the end and stuff. But if I wasted the first move and stuff to uh, to suppose some kind of imbalance I could exploit or some drawn position I could exploit and stuff, then as a player, I'd have to think like, have I actually lost my mind and stuff? Like that's actually lunatic thinking and stuff. So and that's not even trying to be funny. Like that's literally like just like your logic and reasoning just or just going out the window. You forgetting stuff, whatever. Like it's losing your mind. Um, it's an idea of no composure. Um, so now, so definitely from the first 4 moves, you definitely want to do knight f3 and stuff. There's too many variations and stuff. It's too good. Um, and that can be comparable to e3 actually. Um, c4 is also really good and stuff. It's highly disruptive and stuff. It makes the game more decisive. Um, and because you need to be decisive, but you need to be efficient, you want to start off with knight f3. And this is the interesting part about what I read in that book and stuff. It was one of the Russian books, but it was in English, of course. I didn't do the silly thing of learning a whole new language just to learn concepts that didn't necessarily need a language. You know, the that's a funny thing and stuff. Like the philosophy of chess is a precise constructive language, right? It doesn't necessarily need to be English or Russian and stuff. Um, but hey, so here Black has basically done the same thing I did, but a half move behind and stuff. This is inviting a gambit and stuff. But um, hmm, so which lets me just do this. Not decisive yet, but this is. And now look at this. This game is decided at this point. This is actually overwhelmingly winning for white. The computer doesn't see it and stuff. Why? Because the computer has a tabulation of the game and stuff. It doesn't. It's not using some deeper intelligence and stuff. It's using intelligence for sure, but it's not using like it how do I put it? Like it's missing the key crucial information and stuff. Um, which is why like see this is why I in my channel I talk about how commercial information and stuff and information related to politics and um, just information that comes from idiots is basically useless and stuff. Um, and my grounding for that whole there is that um, it's so obvious when you're trying to spend time and energy on all the referencing that you're basically getting a bunch of garbage. Sometimes the matter of reference is just there and the ideas are just there. And I can tell you ideas are are so crucial in chess. It's it's always going to be ideas over moves and stuff. From here this is decisive and stuff. If I Now, if I lead with my like, I shouldn't try to play and stuff because right now I'm talking and stuff. I don't have the time to think about the next continuations and how to press for this opening and stuff to prevent this, to get the flexibility to defend my king and let this computer know like, hey, this is lost and stuff. Um, and then maybe but sooner or later it's just going to blunder and stuff. The computer's already made the stupid mistake of reflecting the ready and stuff. It undervalued tempo and stuff. Um, but I don't know. For fun, I can try something here. Um, this bishop's going to be unsupported, right? Theoretically speaking. Um, so in the idea I'm thinking of, I go to g5 and I have an unsupported knight and stuff. So I need to use some timing and stuff. How do I use some timing? Well, I can make my advantage more severe with a pawn majority in the center and stuff, which puts load on my queen before she's really ready to be coordinated and stuff. And then, but I also have to worry about the development of my bishop and the safety of my king, which is arguably most important and stuff. So it's tough to tell how much of an advantage I have to spend to a bigger advantage, right? If I overpressure here and stuff, I actually, this queen side isn't a priority just yet, which is why I should probably do this. And there you go. See? C4 saw it right away. That C pawn is part of a very good chain here and stuff. We have actually an incredibly strong center and stuff. The game is still decisive, and I just need to do this. And right now the computer's struggling, believe it or not, and stuff. It looks like the computer did a bunch of things, but it completely missed the opening. It's about to give away its opening, and then try to force a draw and stuff by expecting me to make a mistake. Except I'm going to start setting up an attack and stuff by doing this, getting my bishop into it and stuff. Paul Murphy, thank you for teaching this one. Now, this computer's thinking of taking advantage of all the holes in my queen side. Fine. That's perfectly fine. So, except well, let's just increase the threat. Wait, no, we can't. That actually is, this is a horrible idea now and stuff. I just have to do this. Yup. Now this computer is giving me a gambit and stuff. If I screw up this gambit, the position's drawn. It wants to remove the safety of my king, except I'm going to threaten to let's keep it flexible. C2. I shouldn't expect an early mate now and stuff. And I've actually lost initiative because I did the thing I said I wasn't supposed to do. I wasn't supposed to just, try to talk through the game and stuff. Oops. Uh, oh well. And, we were wrong, so we're just going to fight back tenaciously. And see, now this computer basically has to restart this attack on its on this side here. And obviously it's going to see if I try to do something with e5. So, I mean, what's the idea now? Stuff. This this is a rather weak rank here, very flexible. I'm sorry. No, this is rather weak file here, rather flexible. And of course it tries that. Funny. Um, yeah, I mean, I should just keep up the attack here and stuff. Now, once he replies back with his rook here, this is actually pretty bad. No. Now, this is lost for white and stuff. Yeah, it's... Hey, it was a good idea, though. I mean, if I just do this now, then I probably get a little bit of time to do something. So... Whoop. No, this is mate. This is a mating sequence now because I didn't see how quickly black was attacking my king side. Womp. Well, that was fun while it lasted. But not really. It's not fun to lose. Yeah. Made in 19 and stuff. Oh. Made a little dent and stuff.